If your PC has been overheating, making weird noises, or crashing a lot, your CPU could be failing. And if you ignore it, your whole computer could stop work, break down the signs of a bad CPU, and teach you how to fix it. The most telling sign of a bad CPU is when you have boot issues and the computer won't even turn on at all. Some other common boot issues is where your PC might turn on but not display anything out, or it'll go through a boot looping cycle where it turns on and turns off and turns on and turns off again. The next possible sign of a bad CPU is seeing performance problems in applications or games. This can include slow, unresponsive games or applications, crashing in the applications or in the games themselves, or total system lockup, where your system is completely unresponsive to any input or action. Some other signs that can tell you if you have a bad CPU is where you might experience blue screens, random restarts, or total system crashes, where the computer completely just shuts down randomly in the middle of a game. Now, the next sign we might be able to see if your CPU is dying is where you have weird family behavior, or it's overheating in random tasks, or overheating in games way too easily. These can include symptoms where your PC fans run to max speed, or your PC will shut down due to overheating. The last sign will be strange noises or some visual glitches that you might see in game. If your computer is equipped with a built-in speaker, sometimes you might hear beepos when you're experiencing a CPU issue. You might also see in games random stutters or game logic issues where your character might not be moving or responsive and then suddenly is after a period of time. What causes CPU failure? The first and most common cause of CPU failure is overheating. This can be caused by running your CPU under heavy load for too long to where it stays at high heat for the entire gaming session or work session. This can also be caused by dust buildup, blocking the vents, or putting the PC in an enclosed space where it doesn't have access to clean airflow. Or it could even be caused by dried up thermal paste or a bad cooling system. The next cause is power issues. An unstable power supply or power surges can sometimes downstream effects which affect your CPU. You might also be experiencing inadequate power from a PSU, especially if you recently upgraded your CPU, or if you've tinkered with overclocking, there might be improper voltage settings set in your BIOS. The next cause of CPU issues is physical damage or wear over time, which you experience from just having an older system. This could be from accidental drops, or this could also be from accidental drops or too much pressure on your CPU, or it could even be caused by manufacturing defects like was experienced on the 13th and 14th gen Intel CPUs. But oftentimes, there'll just be natural degradation to the CPU over years and years of use. Yeah, the final cause of CPU issues are software or firmware issues. This could include a BIOS misconfiguration or malware causing high CPU usage. How do you diagnose a failing CPU? First things is if you're having trouble getting to Windows or your operating system, you might want to check your motherboard for a postcode or a beep code if your motherboard supports that. Newer gaming PCs especially will have motherboards with helpful postcodes that'll tell you exactly where an issue is occurring and if it's your CPU and what to do about it. Next up, you'll want to monitor your CPU temperature with software such as hardware info. Next, you can run some stress tests such as Cinebench or Perma95 or the Intel burn-in test. And these will stress your CPU and put it to maximum usage to see if you'll have any issues in games or in other applications that utilize the CPU heavily. If you have access to other hardware, you might be able to swap your CPU for a known working CPU and test to make sure that it's your CPU that's having an issue or not some other component. Otherwise, you can check the motherboard or the PSU to ensure that they're working properly. How to fix CPU issues. First will be cooling and maintenance. You should always be cleaning out your PC as often as you can. This will help your PC maintain nice cool temperatures to prevent your CPU from overheating in the first place. You might also need to reapply your thermal paste between your heatsink and your CPU if it's been a few years since you last did that. And sometimes, especially when you've upgraded to a newer, more powerful CPU, an upgrade to your cooling system will be necessary. The next fix is to your BIOS settings and improving the power stability of your system. Using a high quality PSU, something that's usually rated over what's necessary for your computer, or something that's highly rated such as 80 plus gold or platinum rated will be good for maintaining clean power to your system and your CPU. You can also go into your BIOS and reset everything to the default settings if you've tinkered with anything there to completely wipe out any misconfigurations you might have set. And you should always be careful of power fluctuations or power issues from your wall. Using a good surge protector or even a battery backup can help provide clean power to your PSU, which will also provide clean power to your CPU. Lastly, there might be some quick software fixes that you can do. Updating your motherboard and CPU BIOS to the latest version will be very helpful, as new BIOSes will often have fixes and updates which will help improve system performance that might not have been checked originally. Also, using a good antivirus can help remove malware or viruses that might be slowing down your computer, as well as closing any unnecessary background processes will help you overall improve your performance. When all else fails, you might need to do a system reset where you reinstall Windows or your operating system to completely wipe out any software misconfigurations that might have been set. When should you replace your CPU? Generally, you don't need to replace your CPU until you start experiencing major issues or it's not performing nearly as well as you think it should be. Most modern CPUs can last for years and years, if not a whole decade. In general, you'll want to replace your CPU if newer games are more demanding and have higher system requirements than what you currently have, or if you're experiencing any of these issues and you've tried troubleshooting them and none of the BIOS configurations or resets work. Often you'll need a newer CPU. You might also just have an old system that you want to upgrade and have the latest and greatest performance out of. When possible, replacing your CPU will be a cheaper and better fix than replacing your whole system. While it's easy to get a whole new computer, oftentimes you can find used CPUs or old CPUs for cheap off eBay or Amazon sometimes.